There are certain devices that seniors should always bring when hiking: a headlamp, a smartphone, and a tracker. But what good are they if they run out of power? This is where a power bank comes in. It's the item that keeps the others going, assuming you have a headlamp with a rechargeable battery. We all want the best bank that we can get. Our criteria may differ. We may want maximum capacity, lightest weight, the best ratio of weight to capacity, the fastest recharge time, or some combination of these. How do we know what's the best? Well, let's break it down, starting with how much capacity they have. When we look into power banks, we see their capacity is given in milliamp hours, or mAh. We see 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, even 60,000 milliamp hours. Wow, bank capacities are growing by leaps and bounds. Or are they? My daughter bought a 40,000 milliamp bank for about $40. She asked me if she got ripped off. To answer this, we need to get nerdy and do a little detective work. When a power bank lists its capacity in milliamp hours, that number is only half the story. It's like telling you the size of a car's gas tank without saying the miles per gallon, and then asking you how many miles it will go. The missing piece when we're dealing with phones and power banks is the voltage. That's what tells you how much energy is packed into those milliamp hours. Watts are just amps times volts, so if you know amp hours and volts, you can figure out watt hours. That's the most honest way to compare batteries, and it's the same unit your electric bill uses, except that's in kilowatt hours, 1,000 watt hours. That's an appropriate unit when running a household for a month, but on the trail, watt hours makes the most sense. So why do capacities use milliamp hours instead of just amp hours? 20,000 milliamp hours, after all, is the same as 20 amp hours. Well, you know the answer. 20,000 sounds more impressive. Our 40,000 milliamp hour bank claims to deliver 154 watt hours, which implies 3.85 volts. 154 watt hours is a lot for a small power bank, and you can't bring it on an airplane, at least not in the United States, where the upper limit is 100 watt hours. I have here 4 power banks. The 40,000 bank with its 154 watt hours, a 28.8 bank with 99 watt hours, a 20,000 bank with 72 watt hours, and a 5,000 bank with 18.5 watt hours. For sheer capacity, the clear winner among these is the 40,000 milliamp hour bank, not because of the 40,000 figure, but because of the 154 watt hours. Markings on the case and milliamp hours and ads are one thing, but what does it mean? We converted milliamp hours to watt hours, but why? I'm suspicious of these claims. With a different voltage, they can claim anything they want. If a bank holds 20,000 milliamp hours at 3.6 volts, it holds 40,000 milliamp hours at 1.8 volts, but the watt hours remain the same. To my surprise, the watt hour ratings of these banks all match the advertised milliamp hours with a voltage between about 3.44 and 3.85, which is a perfectly reasonable range. Now, this geeky electrical stuff is all well and good, but what matters to us is how many phone recharges can we get from the bank. That's equivalent to how far will the car drive. Calculations don't matter in the face of measurements. My phone battery has a capacity of 4860 milliamp hours at about 3.8 volts, which comes out to 18.5 watt hours. How many times should my phone charge from each of these banks? It's a matter of dividing the watt hours the bank provides by the watt hours my phone consumes. Charging's not 100% efficient though. 70 to 90% is normal, so we'll never get that maximum, but at least we'll have an upper limit. To figure out how much we really get, we don't need meters or equipment. All we need is a little arithmetic and time. Step 1 is to charge the bank fully. Step 2 is to go about your daily business with your phone. Each day, record how much your phone battery is drained, then recharge it with the bank. If your phone is down to 48%, you've used 52% of the battery. Keep a running tally of how much you've recharged your phone over several days until the bank runs out. On that last day, you're probably going to find the phone's not fully charged. Maybe it charged from 60% to 75%. That's 15% from the last day to add to the tally. In a sense, your phone's battery rating doesn't matter. Either does the power banks. The only thing that matters is practical. How many recharges did you get? Here are my results. Do we believe that these banks with the highest watt hours just happen to have far worse efficiency? Or is the explanation simpler and more sinister? They aren't gaming the numbers with low voltages. The watt hour values show that. These watt hours from knockoff banks from mail order sources are simply of questionable veracity. In short, the watt hours are fictional because the milliamp hours are fictional. I've had the PowerAd bank, that's the little one, for a while, so it's not surprising that its performance has degraded a little. While I don't recommend specific brands, Anker has a good reputation. You can interpret their results for yourself. Another check is bank weight and phone charges per ounce. Here we see the PowerAd bank is less efficient on that account. That's not surprising. It's older and a larger portion of its weight is from casing and electronics. The others are all between 0.21 and 0.29 phone charges per ounce. The 28.8 bank is also older and it may have lost a step as it aged. My point is this: physics is physics. We can't expect one bank to outshine all the others when they're using the same technology. When I see a 60,000 milliamp hour bank, perhaps 225 watt hours, and it weighs 15.5 ounces, I'm suspicious. At 85% efficiency, that's still 2/3 of a charge per ounce. That's wildly out of line with everything else. Anyone who expects this bank to recharge the phone that effectively will be sorely disappointed. The only people who gave it a 5-star rating were fake reviewers and people who didn't understand what they were promised. They saw a big number, 60,000 milliamp hours, and they thought they got a deal. To be clear, just because a battery pack claims to be 60,000 milliamp hours doesn't mean it's lying. If the weight makes sense, it may be valid. One ad for a 60,000 milliamp hour bank that I saw said it was 34 ounces. That's around 0.3 recharges of my phone anyway per ounce. It's in line with all the others. Another thing we might want to consider is how long does it take to recharge a bank? There's many factors. A long charge time isn't necessarily the fault of the bank itself. The adapter can slow charging considerably. That 28.8 no-name brand was my bank for a while, and it took over 24 hours to recharge. That limited its usefulness. When I switched from an adapter of unknown spec to a 10-watt adapter, its recharge time was under 10 hours. That can be done in a hostel overnight. And if I tried a better cable and a higher wattage adapter, it could be even faster. That's much better if you're partially recharging it during a break, such as at, say, a roadside restaurant. So now let's answer the question that I asked up front. Did my daughter get ripped off? Well, I could say yes. The charger doesn't deliver what it promised. I don't believe the 40,000 milliamp hour or the 154 watt hour claim. It just doesn't stand up under scrutiny. I could make this case that no, she didn't really get ripped off. The charger delivered about what a similar cost, reputable brand would deliver. In that sense, she got what she paid for. Or I could say maybe. She can't bring it on an airplane. It would get confiscated because of the fake watt-hour value. In reality, it's under the limit, but the questionable watt-hour marking on it disqualifies it. She can still use it at home, which is why she bought it. The bottom line is this. Don't look at the milliamp hours and think the bank with the highest number is the best. Often these figures are plain fiction. Buy a reputable brand, confirm that the weight of the bank makes sense, about 100 watt hours per pound, and you'll do all right. Test it so you know what you actually get and plan accordingly. Of course, the phone isn't the only thing with charging. My tracker takes about 1/4 the power that my phone needs to recharge. That eats into my total phone recharges. I'll cover phones and trackers in upcoming videos. That's what I've got on this topic. If you found this information helpful, please like, share, subscribe, and comment on this or other topics you'd like me to cover. And if you haven't seen this video, I recommend you take a look at it now. Thanks for watching.